What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and it's that vlog day once again. That's right. Welcome to episode 24 of my Let's Vape vlog series, where we just talk about a whole bunch of different topics affecting the vape industry, as well as the channel, and pretty much everything else in between. So with that, I've got a whole bunch of stuff on the table for today's show. Quite literally, the whole desk in front of me is covered in stuff, and we got a whole bunch of different topics to talk about, including, we're actually going to start it off with the news and advocacy and stuff like that, a few little updates, and we're going to announce the winners for our vape mat giveaway. So those of you that entered my contest, make sure you pay attention for that. We'll be announcing that very shortly. After that, we've got what I've been vaping on, and we're going to do a beer o'clock segment as well. We've got some beer tasting to do a little bit later on, and we're going to cap it all off on a high note here. I've got this little beauty right here that we're going to be unboxing. I have no idea what's in it. I did see on the little return address thing that it's from Innikin, so I can't wait. I really want to open that, so I'm going to probably just try to chug through these topics as quickly as I can. But a nice, quick, little, short kind of vlog for you guys today. I'm probably not going to make the 45-minute mark on this one here, but I don't know. I just feel like doing a real quick one just to get it out there. But with that, let's go ahead and get started, and we'll do some news and updates. Alright guys, so let's start off this vlog with a bang. I just have to read this headline because you can't even make this shit up here. Miami lawyer's pants erupt in flames during arson trial in court. Now, this is one of those headlines that you just have to click on. You have to see what the story is all about. And, you know, it is a pretty, you know, kind of funny sort of situation. It is a serious situation in one hand, but at the same time, it does have that kind of comedy aspect to it where, you know, arson lawyer on, you know, defending a client and everything, his pants light on fire, ha ha ha, you know, liar, liar, etc., etc. But with that comes the seriousness of battery safety, and that is like one of my main concerns. Out of all the things that I do in this industry, I am really concerned with people and their battery safety, because it all makes us look good or bad depending on how you treat your batteries and your mods, and, you know, making sure you don't blow up your pocket like these other guys that you see all over the news. And that's what it kind of comes down to for me in this case here. It says a Miami defense lawyer's pants burst into flames Wednesday afternoon as he begun his closing arguments in front of a jury in an arson case. Yeah, haha, okay, we get it. But basically it was just, you know, he was defending his client, and all of a sudden his pants lit on fire and he had to, you know, rush out of the room, and the jury was evacuated and all that stuff. So yeah, the spectators said that, you know, many people could be injured. It was surreal, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it comes down to what was the kind of parameters as why this device decided to go up in flames. And I feel like that has something to do with maybe loose batteries. That's 9 times out of 10. It's a loose battery just hanging out in someone's pocket with change or keys or something like that. And that's why they blow up. It's not even necessarily a mod that blows up. It could just be a battery that blows up. And as I've said many times before, it's not necessarily an e-cigarette. You know, obviously a battery does not make an e-cigarette. There's more components to that. It's these people out there that are carrying around loose batteries. That is the problem in this case here. So with that, I will once again remind you guys, do not, under any circumstances, carry just regular batteries in your pocket with loose change, keys, anything metallic. Always keep them in a case of some sort. They are cheap. They are available to you everywhere, all over the internet, and most of the time you can get one at your local vape shop. So do whatever you have to do in order to keep your mod and your batteries completely safe. Shut off your mod when you're not using it. You know, if you're going to be in court, then you're not going to be able to use your mod. So shut it off and, you know, just put it away. But this is just one of those silly little things that, you know, is commonly overlooked. And you know, you always think it's not going to happen to me. Well, you know, that's the type of mentality that's going to lead to more issues down the line. But with that, it's a pretty funny story. It's a pretty decent read, but this is the kind of thing that you really got to start sharing with your friends to tell them the seriousness of a situation. But Not trying to, make everything all blah and, serious this early on in the vlog. Another thing I wanted to talk about was how the industry is now officially endorsing HR 1136. For those of you that don't know, HR 1136 is basically the modernization of the Cole-Bishop Amendment, whereas before it was just an amendment on another bill. Well, now it is its own thing. It's its own bill, which has bipartisan support, which means both the Democrats and Republicans can get behind it. And it's really, really important because what it will do is push the predicate date up from 2007 up to 2016, which is, not industry saving 100%, but it's going to save, 99.9% of the industry with basically just kind of allowing the rest of the products that were already on the market before the FDA's regulations to basically be grandfathered in. As before, it's now all the way back to 2007. So the only products that would be available after the FDA regulations kick in would be anything that was made prior to 2007, which is basically nothing. I mean, we'd have pretty much just the cigalikes if that was the case. But with that, this is basically just going to modernize everything a little bit, and I think everyone should be supporting this. Now, what can you do to support this bill? As a vape shop owner, e-liquid manufacturer, mod maker, anything like that, one thing you can do is set up a face-to-face meeting with your representatives and your senators. That is one thing that you can absolutely do. You can go to their office, you can sit down and chat about what you are, what business you own, what type of service you provide, how many employees you have, and things like that, just kind of to give this vaping industry that personal touch and to add a face to what this industry is. So with that, that would make a really big impact, I feel like, with this bill, and just to make sure, that more and more people co-sponsor it. But if you're a consumer out there, for all you guys that just like to vape, you're a hobbyist or whatever, you guys can actually write emails, make phone calls, and write letters, actually handwrite letters. And that just, again, gives it a more personal touch. I mean, form letters are one thing, they're great, but it's really, really important to actually add on your little bit of story to it, just to tell the people out there that make these laws that, you were a former smoker. This industry helped you quit, and if it weren't for vaping, you'd still be out there smoking cigarettes to this day. So just add your personal touch onto it, and hopefully more and more people will get behind it. Obviously, it has seen some support already. We've already got some more co-sponsors and more coming every single day, but we need the most we can possibly get. We need everyone to co-sponsor this bill because, that predicate date is important. Going all the way back to 2007, there's almost nothing on the market. So we have nothing left after the FDA regulations kick in, which it would be an industry destroying, situation if we don't have some sort of legislation to help us out. So get behind HR 1136. Make sure you let your friends know, tell them to write their letters and make their phone calls and all that good stuff. And the last little thing I wanted to talk about is Dr. Farsalinos, the guy who is doing great things for the science of e-cigarettes, studying the effect on the lungs and exhaled vapor, and even going as far as testing out how metal reacts with the heat and everything else. So basically, he's helping our cause by studying the science behind it. So he's come out with an article entitled "Irresponsible Marketing by Parts of the E-Cigarette Industry Requires Immediate Measures." Now, we talked about this in my previous Let's Vape video, where I kind of had a rant about, how the child-friendly marketing aspect of this industry is eventually going to kill us, and we need to be better at self-regulating and things like that. But that's exactly what this article deals with here. He even goes on to say how he's going to be doing some studies on marketing and things of that nature, which it's important to do that. However, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of controversy over this one here, because he said he's going to be doing a few studies over the next few months, and I feel like a lot of people are going to think that he has better things to do with his time. I mean, I believe the guy's a heart surgeon as far as his actual profession is concerned, so he should be focusing more on the medical effects effects of vaping rather than the psychological effects. And I kind of tend to agree with that. I hate to say it because I think that Dr. F is doing some really great stuff for our industry. However, this needs to be dealt with, I feel like, among the actual industry people themselves, the people that are, have these massive companies out there that have a big blanket over several different juice lines and things like that. They need to be dealt with because there are certain ones that are worse than others. Obviously, there's kind of a sliding scale when it comes to how child-friendly something appears to be, and there's a lot of argument, well, it's a nostalgic factor. To me, I think that's all bullshit, to be perfectly honest with you. I feel like this needs to be an adult-geared market. We need to focus on appealing to adult smokers rather than, younger people, and getting people to buy things based on, the visual aspect of packaging over their actual flavor and beneficial aspects as far as, not adding anything extra to the e-liquid that shouldn't be in there. But hey, that's just my opinion. Everyone's going to have their preference as far as e-liquid is concerned, and obviously some of the worst branding out there as far as most child-friendly branding, some of those juices are actually pretty decent. I hate to say it, but that is definitely a very, 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 very small percentage. But without turning this into too much of a rant, I'm just going to end it right there. I'll post a link to the article down in the description below if you guys want to check it out for yourself. That is true for everything in these videos, as you guys probably know by now. All right, so it's the moment you've been waiting for the past 2 weeks. It's time to give away some vape mats. So I have 5 of these things to give away. I've selected my 5 winners. They're right here on my iPad, and I will name them thusly. So first of all, we have Robert Martin. Next, we have Travis Wood, Anthony Sizemore, AJ Houtaling. I hope I pronounced that right. And finally, Timothy Sharkey. You are the winners. I will be sending you guys an email shortly. I expect an address in return so that I can send these things out to you as soon as I possibly can. So congratulations to our winners. I will be sending you guys an email pretty soon to congratulate you and get your addresses so I can send these things out as soon as I can. But yeah, I really love giving you guys the opportunity to win one of these mats here. Obviously, if you guys want to get one for yourself and you didn't win, then you can check out vapemats.com. I also have a coupon code VAPEMATS, good for 15% off everything on the website, not just my own mats, anything you want. So go ahead and feel free to use that if you want to. But these things are awesome. Vape mats are awesome. Really do recommend it. He also just launched his Pro Series, which is going to be, I think, 24 by 48 inch mats, which are massive. So stay tuned for those. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. All right, so we've reached the point of the video where I talk about the setups that I've been rocking for the past couple of weeks. So I guess let's just start it off right here with the good old faithful RX200S with a Kennedy 25 and a Half Moon Mods drip tip on top. This is my daily driver, my day in, day out, old faithful, good old trusty mod that I use all the frickin' time. And under the hood, I've actually got a brand new build I've been working with recently. This is going to be a long one here. 10 wrap spaced 3.5 millimeter Nichrome 90 Mad Rabbit wire build. And yes, it is a fantastic build. It meters in right at 0.15 ohms. I'm vaping it at 100 watts, and it gives me great vapor production, great flavor, and it's not too hot. I could turn this up to about 120 and get a nice hot vape out of it, but I kind of like it on the mellow side. I turned it down a little bit, and it's just bringing out all the little, subtle notes of flavor, which I really like. So the flavor that I'm vaping on, speaking of, is Devil's Punch Bowl by Cali Vapors. This stuff is fantastic. And I actually got these samples in once before, but they were in 30 ml glass bottles. They recently came out with these nice unicorn bottles. They have a really nice updated look to them. And yeah, the flavors though. The flavors are the most important part. This one is a peach, papaya, and I believe pear. Really, really, really high quality stuff here. They also have a few other flavors available if you guys want to check them out. Of course, links will be in the description down there below. But yeah, I could say, 100% this line is really, really good. I like every single one of those flavors. So with that, make sure you check them out. Next up, I've got this setup right here. This is the Council of Vapor 200 watt Tempest with a TFV4 and a coil art coil, topped off with a Half Moon's drip tip. And yeah, pretty much the only reason I'm using a TFV4 or a coil tank in general is so I could try out a new flavor and I didn't have to build something. But yeah, I guess I'm getting a little bit lazy. But the coil art notch coils that I'm using in here are really good. I mean, they produce really nice flavor and the vapor production is decent as well. So, and you can keep it at a somewhat lower wattage and you still get good vapor production. That's really why I like them. But the flavor that I've got in there is this stuff right here. This is Beanbags by ADV, and wow, this is amazing. Now, this involves two different flavor profiles that I normally wouldn't vape on a daily basis. A strawberry frosted donut and Crunchberry cereal. But put them together and they are, oh my God, so amazing. It is fantastic. I mean, I am blown away by Beanbags, and I don't gush very often about e-liquid, but damn, that stuff is good. But yeah, that's pretty much the only reason I'm rocking this setup right now is so I could try out Beanbags. Honestly, I put together an entire setup just to do that. However, I have no batteries in here right now because they're on the charger. And the reason they're on the charger is because of this right here. This is my next setup that I've got for you guys. This is the Wismac in collaboration with Sinuous. This is their newest mod. It's called the Predator 228. Sure, you guys have seen a couple of reviews on this already, but it's basically, it's going to be the alien killer. You know, that's what they kind of set out to do. It's a dual battery, 228 watt device, temp control and all that good stuff. It does have a preheat function as well, which I haven't still delved into, but with that, yeah, it came to me as a kit. It comes with this tank here. Again, designed by Sinuous. This is the Alabo tank, I believe it's called. It's got a pretty goofy name, if you ask me. But it's kind of an interesting little system where it got this little child-resistant lock by putting the drip tip in. When you take the tip out, you can actually slide it open like that to reveal your juice fill hole, which is kind of a neat idea. I really like that. But I've been normally rocking it with the Merlin mini tank, the one you saw in my Fresh Build Friday video a couple of weeks ago. So with this setup here, I've got it at 65 watts, and it's been really good so far to me. In the tank here, I've got some of this Blazberry. I did put this in this unicorn bottle. It normally comes in glass bottles, actually, right here. It comes in these glass bottles, but I threw it in this unicorn bottle just for convenience sake. But this stuff is great as well. For those of you that don't know, I am actually affiliated with this company here, and I will be traveling with them to Atlanta, Georgia for Vape Showcase. So if you are planning on attending, you can come see me at the Blaz booth. I think we are booth 510. Yeah, just like the, threading. But yeah, so Blazberry, it's a blue raspberry strawberry. You get every note of flavor in there. Not a whole heck of a lot of sweetener. Actually, there's no added sweetener to it. It's whatever is already in the flavorings themselves. So with that, you can keep your coils clean for weeks. And I'm not joking when I say this, weeks on a coil. And that by itself is, a game changer when it comes to this industry. But let's go ahead and have a vape on this one. Oh yeah, did I mention it's 80-20 too, so you get really nice, thick clouds of vapor? Yeah, that is definitely a selling point for me personally as well. And last but not least, we have this little guy here. I'm still using the Me 1. I have been using it in my sort of configuration with a 1 ohm coil and some nicotine salt e-liquid. This time, a little change of pace. I just got this stuff in and I really wanted to give it a try. This is Salt by Craft. This line here obviously kind of replicates something very, very familiar, and I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about. But they have 4 flavors right now. They've got a mango, they have a apple, a mint, and a tobacco. I'm really excited to try these out, and I also have a coupon code for them as well. You can find that down in the description below. But yeah, that is a very cool little thing that I got in, and I've been trying it out in here. The flavors are amazing. Really, really good stuff. Now, I will say, I do have a mango pod for the JUUL, And it's pretty good, but I feel like this stuff just kind of blows that out of the water. And it is pretty close in nicotine strength. This stuff is 40 milligram or 4% nicotine. And I'm really enjoying it. Mouth to lung, it's just a nice, relaxing, kind of enjoyable vape. I can't wait to try out the rest of them, but that will have to wait for a full review coming up soon. So stay tuned for that. So that's all the setups that I have for you guys this week, and I'm pretty sure, let me check here. Yep, it's beer o'clock. All right, guys, so I've got something a little bit different today for our beer o'clock segment. This one is called Sorry Chickie Dry Hopped Sour Ale from Burley Oak Brewing Company out of Berlin, Maryland. And it is described as a Berliner Weissbier. And I apologize to my German subscribers for murdering that word and your language. But yeah, this is a sour ale, basically. It's very low on the alcohol content and very low on the IBUs, which is, of course, International Bittering Units. But I'm pretty excited about it because I don't try enough sours. I feel like I should try a little bit more in the world of beer. I stick to my, main kind of, high IPAs, like, double IPAs, triple IPAs, stuff like that. And I kind of ignore a lot of the kind of underside of that, which is, of course, the sours, the ales and lagers and stuff like that. So yeah, it's time to experiment and broaden my horizons a little bit with this one here. But I'm excited about it, so let's go ahead and get right into it. I've got my beer. I just rinsed out my glass, and we are ready to go. So let's go ahead and crack it. Yep. And give it a pour here. Gonna do my best on this pour. There we go. Well, it's a 4.4. Let's just open her all up there. All right. Wow. Well, look at that. Now it's coming out a little bit darker on camera here, but this one is kind of like a milky yellow, sort of hazy kind of look to it. Very white kind of head. And it's a very thin head, but a very bubbly head as well. Wow, that one is very citrusy smelling. I'm going to try to come up with some better adjectives here. It smells, yeah, it smells citrusy. It smells like lemon and zest and stuff like that. Pretty good. It smells pretty good to me. I'm not afraid of this one. I've smelled some sours before that smell like warheads in a glass, and this one smells on the tamer side to me personally. Yep. So let's go ahead and have a taste. Not bad. Not bad. A little bit different than what I was expecting. It's not your traditional sour. It's more like a Belgian white. It's more like what's the best way to describe it? If I were to compare it to something, I would say, I don't know if anyone out there is familiar with Allagash, but Allagash White makes a really good Belgian style beer. For those of you that don't drink craft beer, I would say something along the lines of Blue Moon with a big squeeze of lemon in it. I guess that would be the closest comparison that I could make there. I think that's a pretty fair comparison, to be honest with you, because it does still have that deep hop kind of undertone to it, but it's not like super, super bitter hops like you normally see in IPAs. It's just kind of that light fermentation. You do get a bit of like yeastiness in there as well, which is kind of a nice touch. Not quite as bubbly as I would have expected. Normally with these types of beers, you expect it to be really, really, really carbonated, and it definitely mellows out. The second it hits your tongue, it just kind of mellows out, which is kind of an interesting texture as soon as you like swallow it. But really good. Let me have another sip here. That is the weirdest thing. That is so strange because as soon as it hits your tongue, it is sour, it is bubbly, and then it rolls to the back of your throat and you get like more of that actual like beer flavor, like that Belgian style flavor, and then it just mellows and the bubbles kind of dissolve and then it's just kind of dissipates. But it goes down really, really, really smooth. It doesn't have almost any alcohol bite whatsoever. It's very low. It's a 4.4% alcohol by volume, ABV. So with that, it's a very smooth one. One more and then we'll pair it up. Again, very strange, very odd texture to this one. And I mean, the flavor is good. You get like the sides of your tongue and the tip of your tongue get that sour note to it, but everything in the middle of your tongue just gets all this like Weissbier. I'm gonna screw up German. I am sorry. I am not a German speaker. I am terrible, but it's like a white Belgian. You know, it's very very mellow beer. Wow, this is a good everyday drinker. You know, if you just want to like chill out with a beer, this could be even a session beer where you drink a couple of them at a time. It's not going to be too heavy on your palate. It's not going to be too heavy, you know, in your gut. So yeah, really enjoying this one. And let's go ahead and try to pair this up. Now, my first inclination would be pair it with something sweet. You want to offset the sourness. You want to try something that will kind of counteract it and pair with it with the citrus notes in there. So I'm thinking perhaps this Devil's Punch Bowl would be appropriate. And I'm hoping it will be because I'm really enjoying the Devil's Punch Bowl. So let's see if it pairs up with this. It does. It does. It definitely pairs, but not as good as I thought it was going to. I'm going to try it one more time, but I do have a backup plan. Pretty good. Pretty good, but not 100%. So my backup plan, my exit strategy, if you will, is this. This is the mango flavor, and it does have quite a bit of kick to it. So I'm wondering if the added kick of the nicotine is actually going to play nicely with the lack of kind of alcohol bite and just give this the legs that it needs. So let's go ahead and try this one out. I gotta tell you, I think the second try was the charm with this one here because I feel like that natural mango kind of flavor to this one here just counterbalances the ultra kind of sour lemony taste to the beer itself, and the nicotine bite definitely kind of gives it a little bit more of a boost, and I'm actually enjoying that thoroughly. So one more time here and then we'll move on. Oh yeah, much better pairing in my opinion. Definitely goes down smooth. And yeah, I have 5 more of these things back at the house, so I think I'll be diving into those a little bit later on. So let's go ahead and move on. We've got some vape mail to unbox. All right, guys, it's time to take a look at what's inside this DHL bag. So I've got some vape mail today, and I have no idea what it is other than the fact that it's from Innikin. So yeah, let's just go ahead and open her up here. Got my knife. And gonna gently cut open the bag, you know, the gentleness and all that. Got a box. Okay, box. Let's see, what's the best way in? You know, with these things, there's so much tape on them, you never know how to get into it. I think this might be a good strategy here. A lot of tape on this thing. Okay, yep. All right, we're in. First thing, we have a tank. It's a Scion tank. Next thing, oh, we have, wow, this thing is heavy. It's the MVP4. Holy crap. Wow, that is cool. And that's it. That's what's in the box there. But MVP4, wow. Didn't even know that they were coming out with a new MVP. I only had, I think it was the MVP2 back in the day. But yeah, pretty excited about this. Let's go ahead and see what, you know, this is all about here. So, oh, the best part, the unsheathing. Oh, listen to that cellophane. Well, let's take it out of the box. Vaporizer and power bank, it says on the outside. Oh, wow. Oh, this thing is cool looking. Man, that is awesome. It's got this black anodized kind of aluminum look on the outside here. and a nice matte kind of finish to the rest of it. It looks very, very classy. Clicky button. Okay, yep. It's got the normal little Anakin splash screen. And let's see, this thing goes up to 100 watts. 100 watts for an MVP? I never thought I'd see that day. Wow, 100 watts on an MVP. It's a built-in battery. And it's got this USB, this full-size USB on the bottom here. And I'm guessing that's where you charge it and or charge your phone, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, let's just go ahead and see what else is in here. So let's see, we've got the Scion tank. I guess I've got 2 Scion tanks here. Comes with a few extra O-rings. Wow, that's a massive coil. Wow. Anakin has really stepped up their game. This says, I know you're not going to be able to see this, but it has 3 coils in there. Of course, you will be seeing this very soon on the channel for a full review, but 3 coils. It looks about like 28 gauge wire that they're using in these coils, so not quite as beefy as some of the other ones, but good God, I mean, there's plenty of airflow to go around here. And let's go ahead and prime this thing up and we'll see how it vapes. So I know that I mentioned that the box itself was a little bit heavier, but I gotta tell you, the mod is really light and it's kind of nice. It's a kind of a refreshing thing. You wouldn't really think that a 100 watt mod could weigh this little. I mean, it's really, really light in comparison, especially to something like the Predator 228. I mean, this thing is a brick in comparison, but this is nice and light. It's, you know, pretty decent. The coil right now, it's a 0.5 Kanthal coil, and it's rated between 70 and 110 watts, which is crazy to me. I have it set to 50 right now, so let's go ahead and take our first rip off of this thing. So first thing I noticed is plenty of airflow. This thing is just like breathing. I actually think I'm going to cut it off about 75% of its normal airflow. So I have it 3/4 of the way open right now. Only set at 50 watts, and that's below the minimum recommended wattage for this coil here, and it still produces plenty of vapor. Flavor on it is fantastic. Really no complaints whatsoever there. First rip tasted great to me. The drip tip itself is where you fill it, so you actually remove this big chunky Delrin drip tip to reveal the filling ports of this one, very similar to the Brit Beast tank by Smoke Tech. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty stylish. I gotta say that overall I feel like it really just kind of fits together. It looks nice when it's all together like that. But really, really cool stuff coming out from Anakin. I'm actually going to take one more rip at 50, then we're going to bump it up. So it's pretty similar in performance as to the other Anakin products that I've taken a look at recently. So you have to press and hold the up button, and when it starts blinking, that's when you can change your wattage up and down. 3 clicks to put it into standby mode, and it's kind of got that like always on kind of function where even when it's off, you press the button and it says off, click 3x to turn on. But with that, I've got it turned up to 70 watts now. Let's start to check out some of the power. Now, I got to tell you, I'm very pleased with the performance. Even at 70 watts, I am getting really, really good vapor production. The flavor production is amazing as well. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I really want to check out the full power of this thing. I want to turn it up to about 100 watts here. So why don't we do that? You know what? Screw it. Let's do it. Let's turn it all the way up to 100 watts. I'm going to vape an Anakin product at 100 watts. I never thought I'd say that, but let's go ahead and do it right now. So I've got it set at 100 watts. Let's do it. Wow, holy crap. I mean, the power behind this thing is fantastic. I mean, instant ramp up time. I'm going to try to put this thing right up to the microphones. Hopefully you guys can hear how fast this thing actually ramps up. I mean, you can hear me click the button and hear when it fires up, so almost instantaneous. But I'm blown away by this thing so far. I really got to put it through its paces, and I got to take a better look at it and, you know, analyze it a little bit more. Obviously, I'm probably going to be using it for the functionality. Actually, just noticing right now, it's got a full-size USB, which I imagine is for the phone charging aspect of it. And on the other side, it's got a micro USB, which I'm assuming is for the charging aspect of it. So really cool. It's like a little power bank and or mod. It's wild, I gotta say. Really cool things coming out from Innokin. And I also have an extra tank as well to mess around with some other coils and stuff. So yeah, thank you so much, Innokin. I really appreciate the opportunity to take a look at these new products. That about does it for the unboxing portion. So real quick before I end the episode, I do have to give a couple of quick shout outs. First and foremost to Vape Mats. They are awesome. You guys should all have one by now. If you don't, you can pick one up right now at vapemats.com. I'll have a link and a coupon code in the description for you guys if you want to pick up a Daily Vape TV, Fresh Build Friday, or anything else on their website. It's good for the entire site, so check it out down there. Next, we have Native Wicks. They give me cotton for Fresh Build Friday. I mean, without them, I wouldn't have any cotton to use for you guys out there, and they will be a very big staple in my upcoming Fresh Wick Week, or whatever I call it, coming up soon. But with that, yeah, Native Wicks cotton, really good stuff. Check it out. Next, we have Craft Vapery. They, of course, have been a long-time supporter of me as well. They give me a box to take a look at every single month to show you guys their service and, you know, show you guys what products they offer. But thank you guys so much. Thank you, Craft Vapery. And last but not least, we have the Vape Finder app. It's good over in the UK and Europe. I believe they're also adding some locations over here in the US as well. You can find your local store. You can find some good deals. They do product showcases and they share my videos with you guys over there as well. So thank you so much, Vape Finder. Make sure you download it for your Android or iOS device. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Of course, leave me comments in the box below about any of the topics that we talked about tonight. Also, check out the Advocacy and my social media links in the description below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on.